Do you think the Fisheries Reform Act has worked?
Yes, it worked. It worked, I think, very well. And I'm supposed to be humble, but I think it worked very well up until the late 2000s, and that's where leadership comes in. You have to have a strong chairman, and the chairman usually comes and goes with the governor, because the governor appoints all the members of the commission, and also the leadership changes with the directors. And so as leadership changed, the situation changed, and here in recent years, I don't think the Fisheries Reform Act has been is not fulfilling what its visionaries had intended it to be.
So what changed?
The leadership at the division convinced the General Assembly to eliminate a fair amount of the advisory committees. Now, they used the money as the main reason for decreasing it, because our state was going through tough budgetary times, but most of the people, when I worked with them, they had been willing to go to a meeting without getting paid. And they were paid only $14 a night. And so it's not to belittle that amount, but they would serve the state as an advisor even if you didn't pay them anything. So that was a facade. That was not true. And so they eliminated a lot of the advisory committees. The commission quit utilizing the advisory committees on advice unless they were have to. The committees quit meeting frequently to try to be progressive and proactive on dealing with issues. They became reactive, so they only would meet when the division had an issue, or the commission had an issue that they wanted advice for, or were made to have advice for, because FMPs, the statute still required that the regional committees have to review an FMP, a fishery management plan, which was a planning document that was mandated by the Fisheries Reform Act, which brings the science, all the science we know about a species, into one document, and then it talks about the management and conservation policy and the recommendations for that. So I think the FMP advisory committees, there are also advisory committees set up to work specifically on a fishery management plan. I think those are still functioning okay, because they're mandated by law, but the other committee structure is pretty much not being utilized nearly as much as it was when it was first set up. And then the commission, it's not required that they listen to the advisory committees, because it is just advice. But when I would talk to commissioners, I strive very hard to make sure they give that due consideration, that they make sure that they read those memos, or that I'll be glad to recite to them what the advisory committees did, but they give that consideration so those people don't think they wasted their time. So anyway, so that's a lot of that. And then the current commissions, they are moving forward on issues without even consulting advisory committees. And they have the power to do so, but that was clearly not the intent of the Fisheries Reform Act. So clearly. And we had a big debate during the Moratorium Steering Committee as to who should appoint the commissioners. And right now, that power lies solely with the governor. And there was a debate, a serious debate, if you remember, about should there be 3 members from the Senator Pro Tem, and 3 members from the Speaker of the House, and 3 members from the governor. And Governor Hunt at the time said that he cared about our fisheries, and he's willing to bear that sole responsibility. The current commission makeup is not balanced. So people have been put in at-large slots that seem to favor consistently or be aggressive in not being middle of the road. So there's discussions going on now about doing away with the commission, because back when we had moratorium steering committees, some states do not have commissions. They do it strictly through the political route of the General Assembly. Some where the General Assembly will give the director executive power. And I thought this was, as did the Moratorium Steering Committee, that this was a balance. So you have a division and division director that would recommend things to a citizen body. The citizen body would not be so large. It would be 9 people, and they would represent various user groups. They would perform a balanced and a due diligence duty to take the information and make the best decisions for our state. And I do not see that happening unfortunately in recent years.